I'm Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Oh, we got a little bit to go over today on Wednesday. First things first, Sterling Shepard, of course, has got the turf toe. He's going on the IR. He's got 3 weeks to come back before we have to make the decision whether to activate him or lose him for the year. You know what? It is what it is with Shep. You know, he shows some promise. He plays okay. He gets hurt. He comes back. Plays okay again. Gets hurt. Comes back again. It's the same. It's the same song, different dance, different year. So you know what? Injuries happen. A turf toe is a bitch of an injury. I've had a turf toe. You cannot push off. You cannot stop. And you could see that the problem he was having with that against Chicago when he tried to come back and play, when he tried to cut back to come back for a ball, and you just can't. I mean, it's just because you're pushing on, you're going on your toes. It's one of those injuries that could take a couple weeks to heal. It could take 6 months to heal. You don't know. It really depends on the person. It's an injury that in certain positions you can play through. I would say wide receiver, running back, or linebacker, you probably could not, cornerback too probably, you probably couldn't play through it effectively. It really depends on the person. It depends on the severity. So like I said, it could be, he could come back in 2 weeks, he could come back in 3 weeks, he could be on the season-ending IR. We don't know. It is what it is. Devonta Freeman is going to be number 31 for the New York Giants. I don't really think that's big news. There is some potential that he could play against the 49ers. I'm not sure if that's possible in reference to concussion protocol and how that works out. I was going to do a video today giving my true thoughts and feelings about the New York Giants YouTube community. I am going to hold off on a day or two on that because for respect of the late, great Gale Sayers. Gale Sayers, of course, passed away, and we just mentioned him in a video yesterday. The Kansas Comet, of course, he had a couple good, fantastic, all-world seasons for the Bears. Blew out his knee against the 49ers, came back. He did not have the same abilities, but he did still rush for 1,000 yards, more coming back as a power back, which was interesting because of his size and the speed and the way he played. He's a gentleman that I met on 2 occasions. I'm showing a picture of him right now that I actually got him to sign. He was doing a convention back in the early 90s in Chicago, and I actually ran into him in the lobby, and he was giving a speaking engagement. And I was talking to him about how he's my father's third favorite player outside of Chuck and Charlie Connolly and Y.A. Tittle. And it was fun, though, because I actually went to a sporting goods store and got a photograph of him. And he told me that if he wanted me to sign something, he would be at such and such place in the convention center. So I actually found him, and he actually stopped in the middle of his conference, came over, talked to me for a minute, signed my picture, shook my hand, and then, like I said, that left a lasting impression meeting Mr. Gale Sayers and the Kansas Comet himself. So we're going to hold off on doing that other video. I did want to speak briefly about how social media has already turned up against Joe Judge. And I've said this in the beginning. I said this months ago, weeks ago. I said this during training camp. If the Joe Judge that we see in training camp does not excel or play well enough his first 2 weeks, that the Giant community, not so much the sports writers, but the Giants community on social media was going to tear him apart. And I was going through some Facebook posts, some Instagram posts, and some Twitter posts. He is a waste. He is another Matt Patricia. We've made a mistake with him and Daniel Jones. Joe Judge shows no enthusiasm on the sidelines. He is not the coach that we thought he was. And I do have to say that I thought Judge would have more of a demonstrative behavior on the sidelines from what we saw in training camp. I'm not seeing that. I would like him to be. It's funny because I said it before, the rah-rah thing only lasts so long. I call it the Harry High School shit, and it only lasts so long in the pros. But you know what? It usually lasts good into your first year, so use it. Pump your guys up. Go over there, headbutt one of them, body slam, give him a chest, a high five, something. Show me some life on the sideline. I have to agree with that. Show me something. Show me the passion that you were showing us in training camp. This other guy wrote here that Judge caused the Saquon injury. Nah, he didn't cause the Saquon injury. That's just a stupid post. I got another post here saying that Judge is no more than a special teams coach. We've made our third mistake in a row. Now, I could go on and on with these forever. I mean, there are so many different ones. But I just laugh because it's like, I told you guys this was going to happen. I said it 100%. I said if he does not have a fantastic showing the first 2 weeks, they're going to rip him apart. And these are the two toughest games, or actually the three toughest games. I had us going 1-4 the first 4 weeks, and I think we're still on schedule with that. I had us at losses to both the Bears and the 49ers, and of course to Detroit. Detroit to Pittsburgh. I'm not 100. The showing that I saw from the Redskins, the first week is not the showing that I saw against the Cardinals. So you know what? I had the Giants winning that game, and then after the first week, I was saying, well, they might lose the game, but I still have that game I had gone back to that game being a gimme. So I'm still predicting the Giants go 1-4 the first 5 weeks, and I predicted them still finishing 6-9, 7-9. 6-10, 7-9, even after going 1-4. So why the turnaround? Why is everyone panicking already? It's just the way of the beast. It's just the way of social media. And I find it distressing and that's why a lot of times, and I always tell people, I don't watch other giant YouTubers. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. And these imbeciles who think, well, you're making rebuttal videos and you're doing this and you're making me look bad by doing this. You're freaking idiots. I don't watch other giant YouTubers. I'm sorry. I get reports and emails from other people about what other people say, and I usually take them with a grain of salt and I dismiss them. I watch Bad Dog once in a while, and I admitted that freely. But, guys, all these other guys, you have way too much self-importance to think I have the time to even think about watching. I don't watch TV. I watch movies. I love it. I was talking to a subscriber, and I was saying, it's funny. I've never seen Breaking Bad. I've never seen The Sopranos. I've never watched Survivor. I never watched Dancing with the Stars or whatever it is. And he was running down these lists of shows. I'm like, no, I've never watched it. I never felt the need or the necessity to watch it. And I think that's why a lot of people call it the idiot box. Because sometimes that's what I think it is. Because some of the shit they got on this TV is just fucking idiotic. I'd rather go work on the bikes, go hang out with my kid, hang out with my wife, go have a conversation with a friend on the phone. I'd rather do stuff like that. So anyone that thinks I'm sitting there watching their YouTube channel, I laugh because you're probably watching this right now. You're an idiot. I'm not watching you. Just gonna say that out loud. But why is other parts of social media turned on Joe Judge? And like I said, it's very simple. It's the nature of the beast. We have been bad for so long, and honestly, we have not been that bad for that long. We have been bad the last 2 years, but we haven't been like tremendously bad. We haven't been 2-14 bad, 1-15 bad. We've been, 5-11 bad, but with an opportunity that we could have won 7 games. We've been that type of bad. So these Giant fans have not seen the bad. Have not seen the bad in the 60s and the 70s and part of the 80s. Even remember some of the 90s. We were bad. I mean, we were really bad. And I'm glad social media wasn't around then, because I think they would have just been vultures. But like I said, it's the nature of the beast, and people just need to relax. And and I think laughing funny, I'm supposedly the negative one. No, I'm the honest one, and that's the difference. I speak the truth about the Giants. If you don't, that's my fantasy football team. I'm being unprofessional again. I speak the truth about the Giants, and that's all it is. And I'm not being negative. I'm not being bad. I'm not being this. But I don't go on social media and say that, Judge is awake. And I love the ones that go attacking Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, the kid is in the second year. Has he played poorly his first 2 games? No. Has he played well? No. Has he played average? Yes. He's had some good plays. He's had some bad plays. He's had some head-scratcher plays. But he's a second-year quarterback in a brand new system. And I've said it before. He's in his 3rd offensive system in 3 years going back to Duke. I've said this like 100 times. So you got to give him some time. He's got to get his feet wet. Now, it's also his offensive line. I have, outside of not being able to run block, there have been moments on the offensive line where you're just like, they have actually given him a pretty good pocket to throw. They've given him alleys to throw in. So I'm not sure exactly when some people are saying, well, he can't do this, he can't do that. I'm seeing some pretty good I'm seeing some pretty good lanes for him to throw, and it's just the fact that it's just, either he's not making the throw or his receivers aren't coming up with the pass, or just in general that he's having a difficulty. I'm not going to say going to the right read, but he does have a tendency of trying to force in the pass sometimes. I will say this, there was a difference between the Steelers game and the Chicago game. They stopped with the Harry High School bullshit and the line movements. Jones on a couple of plays went up and changed the plays and changed some of the formations and things. So I will give Jason Garrett credit for that. He did help him start recognizing some different defenses. But like I said, it's just interesting the fact that, like I said, and I knew they were going to turn on DJ because they say we did the whole Trevor Lawrence thing, and we're not getting Trevor Lawrence. I think we're going to be fine with DJ. He's not Dave Brown. He's not. I mean, people are like, well, he's Dave Brown. You're only saying he's Dave Brown because he's from Duke. I had another subscriber. He had a great point. He was like, he's Scott Bruner. Most people aren't going to remember Scott Bruner, but in the 81 season under Ray Perkins, we haven't been in the playoffs in a while, Scott Bruner went on a run. He didn't even go on a run. Rob Carpenter did, the running back. But he was the quarterback when Sims got hurt. And most people forget Sims quarterback the first 10 games of that season. Bruner came in, played enough to lead us to the playoffs, beat the Cowboys, beat the Eagles, and then we lost in the second round. He threw 3 touchdown passes in this one playoff game, and it's funny because he threw like 17 passes in total. So I mean, he was not the quarterback messiah people thought he was going to be. He was like a 12th round draft choice out of Delaware. He turned around and then went, like I said, the next year he beat out Phil Simms, and Parcells went 3-12-1, almost lost his job because he went with Bruner because he was not the quarterback we thought he was. But I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is Scott Bruner. I'm saying it's a Scott Bruner type situation, but I think Daniel Jones is more Phil Simms, and I think Scott Bruner, honestly, is social media. Because no matter what this kid does, unless he starts winning and throwing 7 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns in a game, social media is going to tear him apart. And like I said, I avoided Twitter and Instagram for the longest time, but then I started going on it because people are like, you know what, if you're not going to watch YouTube, you should go, at least read this and this. And I was like, all right. So I started, we have a Twitter page, which is Online Big Blue 1. We post videos and some other stuff. We don't do a lot of things. I go on Instagram now, but you know what? It's just the fact that everyone needs to relax. We weren't ever going to win more than 6 games, probably. We might squeak out 7. You cannot gauge Joe Judge's performance off of 2 weeks. Same with Daniel Jones. We had 3 tough games to start the season. We knew that coming in. And we have to just wait and see about what happens with the 49ers. One of the things I want to talk about is Andrew Thomas. Had one of the lowest rankings from Pro Football Focus in reference to the rookies. His ranking was 56.0. Okay, you know what? This is why I hate Pro Football Focus. They don't look at things. They really don't. I'm not going to get into why I hate Pro Football Focus. It is the stupidest website that I've ever seen. This is why the NFL does not use it, because it's subjective, and Pro Football Focus does not understand line formations, does not understand the audibles, does not understand assignments, does not understand missed assignments, does not understand assignments that may have changed or been called changes at the line of scrimmage, because they are not privy to these things. They are not taking into consideration if it's a blowout, if it's a close game, if they have to go strictly run blocking or pass blocking because of the fact of the indication of the score. But that's what Pro Football Focus does. Andrew Thomas, against the competition he had, played well. And played well for a rookie. And that's the way we're going to leave it. We're going to do a show tomorrow kind of going over what we think about the 49er games. We're going to give our predictions. We're going to give our score again. We're 2-0 this season again. We finished the last season predicting Giants games 15-1. I don't take any pride and solace in that because of the fact that we had such a bad season. But you know what? Hopefully we're going to, hopefully I'm going to predict some losses and we're going to be wrong. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you could ring that bell, I think you know what that means. That'd be awesome.